Hi, my name's Andrew and welcome to a Pro Tools tutorial on the differences between MIDI tracks and instrument tracks. This confuses a lot of people, so let's get started. If we go to the track menu and go New, and we're going to accept all the default options here and just choose Instrument Track. That's what we're going to start with. Okay, this instrument track has some empty insert slots and we need to put an instrument plugin into one of them. So I'll go to the plugin menu and I'm going to choose Expand, which is a free plugin that comes with Pro Tools. And I'm going to go down to acoustic pianos and just choose a natural grand piano. Next thing is I'm going to click on the record enable button and now everything should work. If I play something on my MIDI keyboard, I've got sound. And if I want to record something, I can do that too. So I'll click on the record button on the transport and then play. And there's what I played. So to start with, if you don't know what MIDI is, it's different from audio. Audio is what you would record with a microphone. Audio is real sounds. MIDI is just note information that comes out of a MIDI keyboard or a MIDI instrument. So here you can see that these are the actual notes I played on the keyboard represented on the screen. And I can manipulate them and move them around and edit them after I've played them. So if I go here to the clips menu and change it to notes, I'm just going to scroll down with that arrow there, I can actually see the exact notes that I played. This is called the piano roll editor, by the way. And you can see here that note there, that's a C. And that lines up with the C on that keyboard. That's an E, that's a G. And I can actually, if I played a wrong note, I can move them around afterwards and edit them. So an instrument track in Pro Tools pretty much lets you do everything that you would want to do with MIDI. Therefore, why would you need a MIDI track? Well, let's go up and have a look at what that does. If I go to make a new MIDI track like that, there it is. Now you'll see that the MIDI track is missing something. It doesn't have any insert slots. If I click on the record enable button and play something on my keyboard, I don't get any sound. You can see that the level meter is going up and down, but that doesn't represent sound. That just represents that there's MIDI data going into the track. It actually needs somewhere to go though. So over here on my output menu, by the way, this entire column here is the in-out column. If you don't have it visible, go to the view menu and make sure you've got it ticked. If I click on that output, I can actually select the expand plugin that I've made over here. Now if I play on my keyboard, you can see that the MIDI data is actually playing through the MIDI track into the instrument track, which is kind of pointless. It's a roundabout way of doing the same thing. So the reason why we have MIDI tracks and instrument tracks in Pro Tools is because the MIDI track used to be the only way to do things. In Pro Tools 7, they introduced this instrument track and it kind of takes the role of doing everything. Before that, you'd need to have a MIDI track and you'd also need to create an auxiliary track like this. And you'd need to have the plugin on that. So previously there was no such thing as an instrument track. You would create a MIDI track like this and an auxiliary track, and you'd have to do it that way with two tracks for every single MIDI instrument you wanted to record with. So essentially the instrument track is the new way of doing things that pretty much everyone uses. It's kind of uncommon now to have a MIDI track and an auxiliary track because, as you can see, it's a bit redundant and it's a more complicated way of doing the same thing. It does have some advanced uses though if you're using Sibelius score editing, or if you're doing deep MIDI editing, or if you're controlling lighting or guitar effects pedals and stuff that run via MIDI. You can actually control a lot of different things with a MIDI track, but you can still kind of do that with an instrument track too. So I guess from a beginner point of view, and this is a beginner tutorial, I would probably just stick with an instrument track for now. It's going to meet all your needs. You don't need to worry too much about this way of doing things. I hope that's been helpful. See you in the next tutorial.